The Marc Dutroux case is one of Europe's darkest true crime stories. In the mid-1990s, Belgium was shaken to its core. When 6 young girls vanished, what investigators discovered about Dutroux' crimes would horrify the world and force Belgium to confront its deepest failures. This is the shocking true story of Marc Dutroux, the Belgian monster who terrified a nation. Marc Dutroux was born in 1956 in Belgium. Outwardly, he appeared to be an ordinary man, a father, a mechanic. But behind this facade was a dangerous criminal with a disturbing history. In 1989, Dutroux was convicted for kidnapping and assaulting young girls. He was sentenced to 13 years and 6 months in prison, but was released after only 3 years due to early parole. This shocking failure in the Belgian justice system allowed him to commit even greater crimes. In June 1995, 2 80-year-old girls, Julie Leon and Rousseau, disappeared while walking home from a playground. Their families were desperate for answers, but the investigation stalled. Unbeknownst to anyone, the girls had been kidnapped by Marc Dutroux and locked inside a secret underground dungeon in his house. Dutroux' plan was horrifying. He wanted to build an underground world where he could keep young girls as prisoners. 2 months later, in August 1995, the nightmare continued. 17-year-old Anne Marchel and 19-year-old F.G. Lambrex vanished after attending a concert in Ost. The police struggled to connect the disappearances, and once again, Dutroux went unnoticed. Inside his house, Dutroux built hidden, soundproofed rooms where the girls were held captive. They endured unimaginable fear and suffering. While Dutroux was briefly imprisoned for another crime, Julie, and died of starvation. His wife, Michelle Martin, later admitted she refused to feed them. In May 1996, Dutroux kidnapped 12-year-old Sabine Darden while she was on her way to school. 2 months later, he abducted 14-year-old Letitia Del. By now, Belgium was on high alert. Parents kept their children indoors. The media covered the case daily, and pressure on the police mounted. On August 13, 1996, Marc Dutroux and his accomplices were finally arrested after a witness reported suspicious behavior. Just 2 days later, during a police raid, Sabine and Letitia were found alive in the hidden basement dungeon. The relief of finding them alive was overshadowed by the discovery of the bodies of Julianne and IFJ buried on Dutroux' properties. Belgium erupted in anger. The public learned that police had already searched Dutroux' house twice, but failed to find the hidden rooms. In one search, an officer even reported hearing voices, but no further action was taken. This negligence led to one of the largest public protests in Belgian history. On October 20, 1996, approximately 300,000 to 350,000 people marched peacefully through Brussels, demanding justice reform and better child protection. This protest became known as the White March. Marc Dutroux' trial began in 2004, nearly 8 years after his arrest. He was found guilty of kidnapping, raping, and murdering young girls, as well as running a criminal network with his wife and a couple. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Michelle Martin received 30 years, but was controversially released on parole sparking public outrage. The Marc Dutroux case changed Belgium forever. It exposed severe flaws in law enforcement, judicial systems, and public trust. As a result, the country introduced major reforms to improve police coordination and strengthen child protection laws. Marc Dutroux remains in prison, but his name is synonymous with horror. His crimes remind us that evil can hide in plain sight, and that protecting society's most vulnerable must always be a priority. What do you think was the biggest failure in this case? The justice system or the lack of public awareness? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more true crime stories that reveal the darkest sides of history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.